We're going to do some more modeling practice right now, and so we're going to create this electrical device or industrial device. You know, those things that you could hold in your hand. Maybe it'd have a cord coming off. You press a button for maybe some kind of platform to raise or some kind of equipment. So it's just something fun to do that's not very difficult. All right, so that's what we're going to create. So here I am in Blender, and I'm just going to get rid of everything. Make sure my move tool is on and my screencast keys are on. I'm going to press 1 to look from the front and press Shift A, mesh plane. Go into edit mode and rotate X90. I'm going to move this up to about there, and we'll grab these and we'll move them up to about there. So that's about the height of that thing. All right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to extrude. I'm going to extrude forward and get a thickness I like and just slide it back a little bit so it's kind of central. So that should be all facing the right way. Yeah, it's blue. All right, press 2 for edge selection and select this. Hold Shift, select that edge, this edge, and this, and then press 1 to look from the front. And let's go ahead and do this. Control B for beveling, Control B, pull till you get a nice sort of notch in there, and then we'll start rolling up your mouse. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. So a total of 5 segments in there in that bevel. That might be a bit round, so I'm going to bevel now, Control B, pull, and I want 5 segments in there, so maybe something like that. All right, so I've got 5 edges in there. Shift Alt and click this, and I'm going to Control B and bevel, and I'm going to do it 5 again. Just make it not quite as big. So this is what I've got. We're going to put a little line in here, Control R, and drag that near the front. And then we're going to bevel this, Control B, pull, but roll back to 0 so you can't roll anymore, and you just have a space like that. Do that. We can still move that maybe to there, and then we're going to press E to extrude and Alt S and pull down, and that'll pull it in. You don't need to pull it too far, just like that, so it looks like a division, like this is a lid on top of that. 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click there, and then zoom in and Control B to bevel and pull. Something like this, and then roll your mouse up 1 more so we have a total of 3, and that's good enough. We're going to do one more thing here. We're going to Control R, drag an edge loop towards this side and another one towards that side. All right, shade smooth. We may have some smoothing errors. We're not going to worry about them yet, but this is our main box that we've got so far. Let's put on the cavity shader. That will make it look a little bit better. And let's also switch this to both and drag these ones up a little bit. Doesn't have to be all the way, it's up to you. All right, so that's what we've got. All right, the next thing we're going to do is let's do a little hook at the top. So I'm going to, I guess, just bring my 3D cursor there. So select that face, Shift S, cursor selected, look from the front. So my 3D cursor's there. I'm going to bring in a circle now, and I'm going to leave it at 32. I want it relatively smooth. I'm going to rotate X90 and take this and just pull it up. I'm going to press 1 for vertex selection and box select, B to box select, all those vertices, X vertices, get rid of them. Take this vertex and this one, E to extrude and pull them down. And then we can take this and we can just scale it until we're happy with the approximate size. I'm going to make like a hook that you could use to just hang it on the wall if you want. I'll go ahead and F to make a face, and then E to extrude and gesture back and give it some thickness like that. So, okay, we can work with that. Now, I'm not sure if that's flipped. I have a feeling it might be, but it isn't. So that's even better. Okay, with that done, let's slash key to focus on this and go into edit mode and 3 for face selection and select that. Let's get rid of that bottom face, X faces, and then select this face, hold Shift, select that one, and we'll bevel this edge here. Control B, pull, and I just need 3 like that. Okay, shade smooth, and we'll drop that in there. Okay, we're going to make a hole in that, so let's do that. My 3D cursor is still there right in the middle, so Shift A, mesh, cylinder. That's at 32, and I'm going to leave it at that. Just scale it down and then rotate X90, and then just pull it up in the Z and to get the spot that you want and the size of a hole. Just want to get it kind of looking even going around there. So I think that's probably fine. We're going to do a Boolean for this. So select this one, Come to the wrench and add Boolean, and with the eyedropper select that and apply. Delete that. Don't worry if it looks all weird. We're going to be fixing that up, so we can just focus on that with the slash key. Come on in now, deselect everything, press 2 for edge selection, and Shift Alt and click. And we'll probably have to do a couple of clicks and then Shift click this and this to get rid of it. We just want the outer edge there. Shift Alt and click there, and then we also have to Shift and click those. And just double check that everything is selected that you want, just the edge going around. Okay, we're going to do a bevel, Control B and pull, and 3 edges is probably enough. And don't worry about that thing flipping around there, that's fine. So I bevel that. We can shade smooth if we haven't already, and then come over here and choose weighted normal and normals auto smooth. And we're good to go. It's relatively smooth. Now I think that hole is actually a little bit too big, so let's actually go back. So select all those faces and then go Control plus to expand the selection 2 times. With that done, I'm going to scale this, but not in the Y direction. Okay, so I'm going to go S, Shift Y, pull it in a little bit like that, and it just scales it globally. Okay, now a little bit more underneath. I want a little bit of a plate, so I'm going to select this face here. Just select this face. Shift D to duplicate, just pull it up a little bit, scale it in the Y, start getting it into the position that you would want. I'm going to break it out, P, separate by selection, so it's a separate object, and I'm going to scale this in the X, and just get it so that you like what it looks like. So that's okay for me. I'm going to press E to extrude, and I'm going to pull down, but I'm going to scale out a little bit, and then I'm going to press E to extrude, pull down, and X faces, get rid of that bottom face. So I have this, I can have that embedded a little bit, and I'm going to press 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt to click these outer edges. Control B, and I just need 3 in there. Shift Alt to click this one, Control B. And this one, I'm just going to play with this and decide what I want. I think I'm just going to leave it there. I think that's okay. I'm not sure it's even all that necessary to have that. I'm just going to push it down like this to about there. Okay, let's double check though this stuff. Okay, that one's flipped. Alt N, recalculate outside. There we go. And then decide where you want to place this. You might want to go into edit mode and pull it towards the back, so you can sort of hang on a nail or whatever. Nah, that's a little bit too much for me. I'll put it around there. All right, so let's keep working now on this thing here. Looking from the front, I'm going to select the face, Shift S, cursor selected, bring my 3D cursor there. Going to make some holes in this. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I'm going to stick with 32 because I want them nice and smooth. Rotate X90, pull this up, and just get the size of that you would want. Just a small hole, something like that. All right, and I just need to make sure that it's embedded a little bit, and it is, and that's fine. So we're going to mirror this. So take this and turn on the mirror and do that in the Z as well. So I've got that. Okay, so I'm going to select this and do a Boolean. Select that, apply, and I can get rid of those. Okay, so now let's come in here and see what's going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to consider if I can get rid of those backs, because I'm going to put a bolt in there. I don't really need them, although I'm not really conserving polys here. All right, in edge selection, Shift Alt and click the outer edge. So we have that one, the outer edge there. I don't want that one, just the outer edge. Come down here, this one and this one, that's looking good. This one and this one, but not that. Okay, just focus on one of these and Control B to bevel, pull, and 3 is probably fine, just to get a little bit of that. And let's make sure shade smooth is on, and we can work on the shading by adding weighted normal and normals auto smooth. So I now have those holes, and I want to put a bolt in there. I'm going to do it just like I did in the previous video, using a cube, scaling it down. I'm going to add Control 2, which is 2 subdivisions. That adds the subdivision modifier. Okay, I'm going to look from the side, number 3, and even focus just on that with the slash key. Okay, I'm going to come in, and it's really a square, right, a cube, with subdivision. Control R right there, and then grab these back faces. So 3, select that, Control plus to expand the selection, X faces. So that's good. I'll shade smooth this, but I'm going to apply this subdivision and add one more. And I don't need to apply that one, just that. Now, I'm going to come in here, 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click there. Control B and pull. I only want 2, not 3. Just split it around there. All right, something like that. And then press I to inset, hold Shift, pull it in a little bit like that. And then E and Alt S and pull down. Pull down a nice way so it looks like a cut in there. Turn off the subdivision for now and press 3 for face selection and select that and delete them. That and delete them. We're not quite done. We're going to add edge loops. So Control R, drag one to the left, drag one to the right. Add your subdivision again, and we have what looks like a bolt. Let's just scale this down, select it all, scale it till it fits the hole, pull it in. I might sometimes want to go SY and just flatten it. Just pull it in there and scale it a bit, and let's actually get it into position. Okay, but I'm going to pull that down into the hole. Like that. Okay, 3D cursor is still there, so we can mirror. So I'm just going to add a mirror in the X and in the Z. You can decide if you want to turn those bolts or not. Okay, so far so good. Let's double check this. Everyone's blue. Good. All right, we need those buttons now on this thing. So let's bring in another circle or cylinder. Either one's fine. I'll do circle. Scale it down a bit. Rotate X 90. And just think about the fact that we're going to get 2 of these in here. So I'll start with that. We can change the size of that. I'm going to extrude outwards. And then I'm going to scale down just a little bit, not too much. E and S, and then extrude back, just sort of into the main body. That might be a little bit wide. I can scale Shift Y to make that a little bit less wide. Doesn't really matter. 2 for edge selection and Shift Alt and click both of those edges, and let's bevel with there's 2, 3. I think that's 3. There's 2, 3. Shade smooth, and just make sure that that is embedded into the thing there. Now that may be too big, so I'm going to take that, and actually I'll change the size in a minute. Select that and Shift S cursor to select it so we can bring something else right there. And the something else is going to be a UV sphere, but we're going to use 16 segments. So just change the top number, scale it down a bit, look from the side, rotate X 90. And then go into wireframe and 1 and just box select all this back stuff and delete those vertices. Take that and scale it in the wide, really flatten it out like this. So it's a bit of a rounded button. Shift Alt to click that edge and E to extrude and pull it back, and then just start pulling this in. I do want it poking out. All right, so just scale it and get the size. We're also going to shade smooth and put on Control 1 for 1 subdivision, and so it'll look really nice. So I'm just going to scale it. All right, so now what I can do is I can just duplicate this at first. I want to put some stuff down here, so those are too big. So I'm going to take them, go into edit mode, and I'm going to switch on individual origins, and then I'm going to S to scale. And they'll both scale something like that. And then I'll select all of this one and just drag it up a little bit and just see if I'm getting, and then I can select both of them, drag them up. Just want a little bit of room below that. It's not bad. Double check that where we at. Okay. Okay, so far so good. I think we can live with that. I'd like to put like a little power indicator there. Light. So what I can do is I can take a little bit of this circle, Shift Alt and click that circle, Shift D to duplicate and pull it out and scale it down until I start getting the size I'm looking for. I'm thinking about having it roughly around there, so I have to make a face. And let's break it out, P to break it out so it's a separate object. Extrude back and delete that back face. In 3 face selection, select there, I to inset, hold Shift, pull into about there, E to extrude, pull this out a little bit longer because we're going to bevel this back. Control B and pull and bevel back quite a bit. I'm going to go to about there and then roll my mouse up a couple of times. And I can pull this whole thing back in if I want to. Okay, let's do some beveling. Shift Alt and click that edge. Control B, pull, and I just want 3. And shade smooth. And that's my little light. So you can decide where you want to put that. All right, let's do the grill thing. The way I'm going to do that is my 3D cursor is, well, let's choose this. Make sure that's sort of a central point. Shift A, mesh plane, rotate X 90. All right, we're going to pull it down here, and I'm going to want to make it curve around these bolts. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab that edge first of all and pull it down, and yeah, it's going to be a small region. That's fine. Just pull it underneath there. For now, I'm going to drop an edge loop in here and Control B. I just want 2 edges. And I'm going to pull out to here so that my edge doesn't overlap the bolt. So let's start with this. Let's extrude this down like that. And basically what I want to do is I want to get this kind of even. Although that looks okay to me right there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is in edge selection, select this, 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 and this, those 3, get that one, and go X, do only edges and faces, and I'll be left with this. 1 for vertex selection. And now I want to look at these lines and try to get them equal, but before I do that, I'm going to get rid of those vertices, so dissolve vertices. It's probably fine as it is, so I'm going to select this vertex and this one, and I'm going to curve this area. I'm going to press Shift Control B to bevel, Shift Control B, pull, but I'm going to press C for clamping so they'll hit and they won't overlap, and then I'm going to start rolling my mouse up, and I'm probably going to do it that many times. All right, now the next thing I need to do is press A to select it all, M, merge by distance, and that's looking good. Now I'm going to select, I'm gonna curve these a little bit. So I'm gonna select those points, Shift Control B, hold Shift, and just pull. And I think I'm gonna want to have 3 vertices. I don't want it too smooth. I just want it to come down there. So you see this part's curved. I want to curve these sharp edges as well. So select this vertex and this one. Shift Control B, pull just slowly, so we get something like that. Okay, and then you do the same thing up at the top. Select these 2, Shift Control B, pull, get a nice rounding there. Okay, so like that's like a plate there. Yeah, we can go with that. So F to make face, E to extrude and extrude it back. Just take it and Alt-N, recalculate outside and push it onto the body a little bit. Doesn't have to be much. So hopefully that's going to work for us. Sometimes it's trial and error. I might take this button and just move it up a little bit. All right, so we want to do a Boolean on the main body again. So I'm going to add Boolean. I'm going to drag it to the top, and with the eyedropper, I'm going to select this and apply, and let's see, delete that, and we have a little impression. That's good. I'm going to come in here and in face selection, I'm going to select that interface and delete it. And then I'm going to do my best. So you see, it's a little faceted because I only put 3 in there, so you could put more if you wanted, but I'm fine with that. I'm going to Shift Alt and click the outer edge. I'll have to do it a number of times. So I've got all of it, but I got some extra stuff. So Shift Alt and click there and there. or just shift and click actually. And I think I got it all, so let's try. Control B to bevel, pull, and just go for say 3, and we'll get that. Not as smooth as it could be, but not bad for a not too high poly model. Okay, I'm going to extend this edge. Shift Alt and click this edge. I'm just going to pull it back a little ways like that. Get a bit more room. All right. Next thing we're going to do is bring in a plane. Bring it down here. Rotate X 90. And essentially, I want it to just fit inside here, around there. So now that I've done that, I go into wireframe and I can select this edge and just pull it down. I'm probably going to scale it in the X just a little bit more. Take this edge, pull it up just to underneath that. Let's make sure, actually I may scale in the X in a little bit. Let's make sure it just doesn't show anywhere. Good. Let's make these and that. Select it all. Alt-N, recalculate outside. Okay, everyone's facing the right way. Okay, now we're going to punch some holes in this piece here. So I'm going to bring in a cylinder. Not that. I'm going to bring in a cylinder now. But I won't use 32. I'll use something like 22, so it's still relatively smooth, but I'll be making some holes. Rotate X 90 and get a nice small hole. Drag it to about here. And make sure that it touches this. Now we're going to do something else with the plane in a moment. But for now, take that and let's do an array and hold down Shift and pull to the left on the Z. We'll zero this out. And then we'll just see how many of these we can get. Looks like I can only get 4 unless I make these smaller. And get maybe 5 and just position them kind of even. Okay, I'm not even going to worry right now if they're going through the plane. We're just going to set this stuff up. Alright, so I'm going to take that, Shift D to duplicate, G, and I'm going to pull it until it's kind of opposite this. I'm going to grab them both and just reposition them. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm going to apply that array and apply that array and Control J to join them. And now I'm going to put a new array on in the X, but I may adjust the distance so it looks natural. 1.1 or so. And let's try just going straight across like that. And just looking at what we get. Put a little text down there if we wanted to. Let me just grab all of this. It almost fits. I'm going to come back in here. I'm in individual origins. I'm just going to press S to scale. And make it a little bit smaller. And just position this. And then decide. Now we could get rid of these bottom ones if we want. Well, let's just go ahead and apply the array and come in and see. Press 3 for face selection. What about all these bottom ones? What would that look like? Okay, so this one, different, I see, the way that I did this. So I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to box select all of these ones. Press Control L to make sure we got it all. X vertices. I think I'm going to do the same for these. So we're just making a change. I'm going to get rid of those as well. So I have this. I'm going to mirror this to the other side. I think it may look a bit better. Let's set the origin to the 3D cursor. So we have that. If I take this and I just move it in, do I want to do another row in the middle? You can. You could grab some of these. Not all those. You could grab just like this. Control L. Shift D to duplicate. G. Let's P to break it out, but let's get rid of the mirror. And we could do something like this. It's up to you to decide what you want it to look like. Well, I'm going to go for that. So I'm going to apply the mirror and select that and Control J. They're all joined together. They should all be blue. Yes, they are. Okay, before we do anything else, that's a bit of a weird design, but you can play around with that. I'm going to select those and this and slash key. I'm going to take these and shade smooth, and they're going to look a little funny, but that's fine. I want to take the plane and give it some thickness. Just extrude back past where these go. So I don't want it, you know, like, I don't want them to show through. I want anything like that is fine. Okay. Take this and do Boolean and select those and apply, and we can delete those, and we have this and slash key to bring that back. You can see how the pattern looks. Let's just take this, slash key again, and now let's select this back face and Control plus X faces, and we can get rid of all that. And if you want the holes less far in, you could select one and come up to select similar polygon sides. That should work. And we could even in individual origins S to scale and make them a little bit, you know, kind of narrower that way and just pull them up. Just something like that if you want that pattern there. Just may not want it too far in. Okay, you could certainly put some text down there. Let's just see how close we are to this one. Okay, my pattern is a little bit different. All right, we need to go on just a little bit more. Yeah, I think some text would look really cool there. All right, well, let's come on down here and let's select here and Shift S, cursor to selected. And let's bring in a cylinder. This one I will go to 32. Almost done. Scale it down. 3 to look from the side and scale it and just position it the way you like. Take this, pull it up a little bit like that. I to inset. Hold Shift and pull in. E to extrude, pull down a farther distance than this. So it looks like that. I to inset. E to extrude, pull down like that, and X faces, get rid of that. Slash key to focus on this. Take that and delete that face. And now we're going to bevel. 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click there and there. Control B and pull with 3. Shift Alt, click there and there as well. And put 3. Shade smooth. Not shade flat, shade smooth. Take this and pull it up to there. We can switch now to a matte cap. I tend to end up using that one because it's kind of that metallic, gray metallic, whatever. And that's all in the first collection. So we can go Shift A, collection instance collection, and just drag another one out. Rotate in the, let's try Z. Rotate in the Z a little bit. You can do another one. And that's it. We've created our model. And it's not too bad at all. If you want to look at the statistics, it's, you know, it's 18,000. That's not so bad. And that's it. All right. So good luck if you decide to make the model. Hope you like it. And we'll see you next time.